Okay, we're back. Back now. The last one glitched out and ended abruptly. The last stream glitched and ended abruptly.
Yeah, it was weird. It kept repeating.
Yeah, it happens sometimes with Prism.
Alright, sorry. I was outside when it happened too.
I'm on again. Hey. Say hello.
Hi guys.
Do you ever stop talking or no?
No,
just so you're aware, I know you've got.
Talking about.
I know you've got 5. So I know you've got 5 people watching on your channel, but on my channel, you've got over 2,000 people watching you make a fool of yourself. So
I'm not making a fool
if you want to be taken seriously, we could actually read a passage together when you're done crashing out. Do you want to read a passage?
Wait till you take a look at this later. You'll see.
G-Man, do you want to read a...
He's legitimately losing his shit right there. I mean, come on. Like, how you... Anyway, so, had a glitch, but hopefully that works itself out. Let's check this. Let's get a palette cleanser in. Palette cleanser.
Watch for free on the Hallmark Plus YouTube channel.
Please take care of Thomas. I'll be back by Christmas, I promise.
Hi, everybody.
So that was like, dude, they're doing like a remake of 3 Men and a Baby, or something like that on the Hallmark channel. It does not look interesting. It looks terrible. Tilting Windmill. I got the new link. How does anyone take that guy seriously? Hopefully he doesn't show up here. No. I don't know, man. I don't know. He just keeps inserting himself into conversations, which is what happens with a lot of apologists. They just keep coming back. They're like cockroaches. Anyway, so this was from SJ's channel. This was one of the things that I wanted to cover originally. So I was listening to this and I found it fascinating. The death of New Atheism, with Josh, Andrew, Craig, and obviously SJ, because it's her channel. So we'll just get into it.
Yeah. S.J. Thomason.
Wait, let me comments first. Okay, so check the stream first. That would be a good idea. And then I'll be able to read all the comments. And then I'll be able to read. Got Tilting Windmill back. Got the new link. Yeah. And then Skeptic Philosophy. This generation shall not pass, as a quote, or as some among you shall not taste of death before all these things are fulfilled, are not ambiguous terms. They are straightforward, yet it did not happen. You can reinterpret and make generation mean something else, and make death mean something else, but you are reimagining the prophecy because it didn't happen the way it was said. Plain. Yeah, exactly. A prophecy should be word for word, jot for jot, whatever, one of those things. Every jot and tittle. So Prism Live, occasionally I'm using Wi-Fi, has a glitch in the system. So every once in a while it will just randomly boot me, for absolutely no reason. It's great. I'm using all free streaming platforms right now. I lost my StreamYard account when they raised their prices. They're now offering me a discount, but it's like for a yearly subscription, so I have to save up the money to be able to do that. So I've mainly switched to Prism lately, but I am trying to get back on StreamYard and all that good stuff. So. Oh, we're back in here. Yeah, I think it'd be good to shift gears. It's also fun when Jill comes into the room. There with G-Man. I want to see what he says because I didn't catch the end of it. So.
The youngest victim that I've seen has been days old.
Hi, everybody.
Because, yeah, Jill did kind of allude to saying that G-Man had a shit argument, but we're still wrong, I guess. So
This is S.J. Thomason with Truth Matters at Christian-Apologist.com. And I am joined by my good friends from all over the country, the United States. I've got Andrew Statelites, Josh Brister, Craig Reed, and myself. And we are going to address a very powerful question. What happened to New Atheism and why did it die? So New Atheism was the four horsemen of atheists. So that was Sam Harris.
So this is like something they sold. This is like this is a product that people sold. They were like, oh, there's this thing. It's Sam Harris, Chris Hitchens, Richard Dawkins, Dan Dennett. They're the four horsemen of the New Atheist, which none of us ever actually consented to. Nobody asked our opinion. They just made this production and then said this represents apparently atheists of the time, even though these were all aged gentlemen who were openly atheists for many years before that, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But
Daniel Dennett, who else is in there? Richard Dawkins. Sometimes people have added Ayaan Hirsi Ali and Christopher Hitchens. Christopher Hitchens had an untimely passing, unfortunately for him, and Ayaan Hirsi Ali has since decided she is a Christian.
It wasn't Ayaan Hirsi Ali. They just left Daniel Dennett out of there because they obviously haven't watched the actual the Four Horsemen thing.
And Richard Dawkins, he also thinks that Christianity is a pretty good deal, and he's kind of worried about what the loss of Christianity has done to his country living in the UK. So without further ado, I'm just going to ask each of these guys to introduce themselves and to tell us what they think about New Atheism. Since Josh got...
Because Richard Dawkins, wasn't he the one who said he was a cultural Christian? I mean, even though that doesn't actually mean anything, that's what he said, but he wasn't... You're talking about like people like Douglas Murray who were like, Muslim immigration in the UK is a disaster. Those guys, right? They're not the New Atheists. That's a different. You're talking about two different loads of people there. John Lovell, welcome back. All of a sudden, this show that I'm banned from called The Line showed up. You're banned from The Line? Well, I could see that. You're a little controversial. Religious people are crazy, indeed. Well, you can't be controversial and be on YouTube because eventually somebody will try to get you canceled, or at least that's what I've heard. But I don't know. We've had some pretty controversial conversations. It was just the raw hijab sex that got me plugged. But anyway.
Here first, I'll go by Josh, then Andrew, then Craig, and welcome everybody.
Well, I thank you for having me. I do appreciate it. My name is Josh Brister. I've been studying apologetics now for almost 30
I realized they were like, what the fuck are you talking about? My old channel, it got prom bombed, and they used hijab, blowjob. So, touche.
30 years. I've seen the rise and fall of New Atheism. I think it's very much similar to regular atheism. It's just a more forceful, more aggressive type. And I think all of our collective efforts, even if they're so small, we've all had our place of putting the death knell into the New Atheism movement. And
I've seen, so just on a side note, and I want to do another episode on this too, was I saw like Trent Horn and Matt Fradd, they're all putting out these videos that are like calling for more Catholic evangelism on YouTube. They think they are not prevalent enough, like they need to get more people to join these spaces. So this is like a thing. They're trying to recruit actively. Just keep that in mind.
I'm really happy to be around here with all you three. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Andrew, you want to go next?
Sure thing. Hey everyone, I'm Andrew Statelites. I'm mostly on Twitter or X, but I have done various apologetics projects and things over the past 10 years, and basically my perception is that New Atheism was primarily a specific political movement at a specific time, and the political landscape has...
He's calling it a political movement, so keep that one in mind too. Might be important later.
shifted so significantly that it no longer has the sort of influence or liveness that it once did. My perception is it basically initially started as a way that you could sort of smear Islamists and conservative Republicans with the same brush, and that sort of disappeared.
conservative. Notice he said Islamist and conservative Republicans, not conservative Christians, right? He doesn't want to associate Christianity with the Republican base, which is what they actually are, right? So clear deception there. Yeah.
After the mid 2010s, as a way that the left could operate, and now you end up with a sort of a fracturing of it. Especially with regard to sort of the more Enlightenment or libertarian strain of it, and the more leftist or collectivist strain that you could solve the fracture with, like atheism plus and things like that. And
atheism plus is a clever way of saying that you are inclusive, and you do not discriminate. That's how they frame atheism plus here. And politically speaking, when he said like leftists and libertarians are divided, that's the one thing. Libertarians, they don't seem to give a shit about government spending on like protecting the border or war, right? They're more concerned with their own individual rights. But the problem is they're not concerned with the rights of other people. If you're talking about marginalized groups, protected classes, people of a lower economic status, they would rather exclude those people because it's not beneficial to them, right? So they have this mindset that says, well, we're just being individualists, but in reality, they're being exclusionary. I think most of them are probably pretty aware of that, right? So it's individualistic. It's not a collectivist society, right? They claim that they want for the people, but they only want for this group of people. So that is by definition exclusionary. And politically speaking, so the left, what we push for is less money in war, less money in border protection, more money in internal security, in bringing resources to the most disenfranchised people, right? And libertarians say, well, fuck them, just let them starve. Deport him. We don't care.
The final death of it was, of course, the conversion of. Pardon me, I forgot her name.
Ayaan Ali.
Yes.
And Hersey Ali.
Yeah, Ayaan Hersey Ali's conversion to Christianity
was not part of the new atheist movement that they're talking about. They're talking about, once again, Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, and Daniel Dennett, who is conveniently excluded from this, I guess because he's dead. I don't know. Ayaan Hersey Ali did not replace or take that. Like, there's no correlation there. They're just putting her in there. It's completely nonsensical.
Indicated that,
in my opinion, I don't know. Two kinds of libertarians? Yeah, maybe so.
That it was just sort of a temporary political alliance, right, as opposed to a generational force or a progressive force like the founders claimed at one time.
Yeah. Amen. And Craig?
Hi, my name is Craig Reed. You got to let me know if everything comes through clear, because this is new for me streaming out.
This guy is going to be the most problematic, as you'll see soon. I don't really have to explain it to you. I'm just letting you know because I watched a little bit of this at the time. And this dude is an especially especially douchey douchebag. I don't know, whatever. Like he's bad.
Here, I'm outside in Malibu, as my wife is home, so we took a walk. But it took me a while to find a signal, so we'll see if I can stay here. But my name is Craig Reed, and I've had a YouTube channel for 8 years, I think. I've been studying new atheism the whole time, and actually, was new atheism is the reason. It's what put me on the map. It's part of the reason why I started doing it, because I was listening to. I remember walking by. Everyone can hear me, right?
Yes.
Sounds okay.
This is like your fucking idol, right? Like rebuke and reprove. This guy, he just wants to own the libs, and that's your goal. Isn't that what you're doing here?
Okay, good. All right. Once upon a time, I was walking past the bookstore. Like, new atheism was starting to be mainstream. Like, I remember at Barnes & Noble, there was a display, and it was like Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens. I was like, what is this? Like, that's the first exposure to it. And then I started checking it out on YouTube, and there were people like, who I actually started listening to last night, who even agrees with us that atheism is dead, or new atheism is dead, is The Amazing Atheist. So I started listening to the first round of, like, there was people called The Amazing Atheist. There was this guy, Thunderfoot, I think his name was. There was a Cult of Dusty was another guy. There was this whole crew. The only one who's still here is Aaron.
Just fully name dropping like every big time atheist YouTuber who blew up, and the only one who's still around, as far as I know, is Dusty. Maybe the Amazing Atheist still streams. I'm not sure.
I think was part of that original crew, and then there was a girl. There was a girl who you streamed with, Stephanie. What was her name? I want to say B Bonnet, but that's not it. It was like
Shannon Q or.
No, Shannon came a little bit later. Apologia is actually
not Shannon Q and Apologia.
Relatively recent to atheism, but I'm going back like 8. I think
I don't know who they're talking about. These must be like new atheist cucks.
Apologia might have come after me by a year or two, but there was like there was a whole group of people. There was this one girl who was really popular, Jacqueline Glenn, and they were a lot more poppy and like mainstream. And they're gone for the most part, you know.
Jocelyn Glenn, we just recently covered. You can go back a few videos. I've gone through that.
The Amazing Atheist he had broken through to the point where he was sometimes on CNN talking about atheism. And he had something like 1 million subscribers, but, you know, most of the atheists around now didn't like him. But he was like really popular. And I was watching his stream last night, and he's the first to tell you how they just sort of disappeared. Like the search engine for atheism is, you know, down like by something like 60-70%. You know, it's just not the
I don't know what that means. That's complete gobbledygook. He's just rambling, and he's going to continue to ramble for a lot of this
thing. Even in our little local area, you know, when you and I started, it was like us and maybe like 50 atheist channels, and all the atheist channels would grow really quickly. And there've been like last year, I think there were 3 new atheist channels who were in that style, that like aggressive in-your-face style.
I mean, anybody who's in this stream knows that's complete and utter bullshit, and we're growing faster than you could ever hope to grow. I mean, we are outpacing you. And the fact that religion has been dominant in society for so long, and the internet just goes boom, and here's atheism, and we deconvert so many people. I mean, you guys are fucked. You're fucked.
There's still atheists, but that new atheist style seems to have like just fallen off the map, right?
Which is a good thing. So, no, I agree. That's a good thing. It does seem like, I mean, it just seems like it's lighter. And even on X right now, if you go to X, it doesn't seem like when I first got on X and I started getting active in 2016, my account was absolutely bombarded by atheists. And now, you know, there's 2 or 3 or maybe 4. I blocked a handful though, but there's some atheists that just, it's like they're gone. I don't know where they all went.
They're totally gone. You used to have like
you know, believe it or not, you know, people who don't subscribe to your religion actually have lives. Right, and as much as they care about you and interacting with people around the world on the World Wide Web or whatever this thing is, you know, we actually have to attend to our own affairs, and so spending, you know, endless fucking hours on the internet sometimes isn't necessarily conducive to having a fulfilling life. So we have to find a balance, and some people get like really, really over inundated in what's going on here. And then they neglect what's going on over there. So they have to, you know, but regardless, I mean, the fact that certain people that you were interacting with on YouTube at one point have now gone on to bigger and better things doesn't mean that atheism online is disappearing. We're growing exponentially. Like, you would be terrified. But you just have to look at the, you know, the numbers in religious affiliation in the U.S. to realize that in the last, you know, 5-10 years.
100 every time you tweeted, there'd be 100 people lining up to tell you where to go, and it'd be like, most of those people are gone, and some of them have transferred over, like, or are transferring over. They either don't stream anymore or they've shifted gears. Like, you know, Pine Creek has kind of shifted gears towards more conservative Republican stuff. He still does atheist stuff a little, but nowhere near the way it used to be. It's died out.
Well, people are arguing politics, and that's separate. People can have their opinions about politics, and it has nothing to do with their opinions about religion. It's only you guys that adhere to that, so it pigeonholes you into that niche where you have to be this conservative Christian because you have no other option. Atheists can go either direction. They can have other beliefs, and it's independent of a God belief because there is no God belief. So, I guess we just have more options than you do by definition.
Yeah, Pine Creek's a good example of why I think I would say my theory is that it's split because there's conservatives and there's liberals, and the liberals went way too far to the left. Like they didn't. I used to consider myself kind of liberal, and now I don't consider I wouldn't at all relate to somebody like AOC or that cracky new elected potential mayor
guy
in
from
New
New
York.
York, the mayor of New York. Oh my God,
The worst.
communist.
The guy who's probably going to get elected. Good luck to you.
Worst. Yes, I mean seriously, if people don't know history and they would actually put a communist in office in New York, they get what they deserve.
Well, that's what, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that's what happened.
Yeah, let somebody else interject. Will you just let that guy fucking ramble on for like 4 minutes or something in your intro?
You don't
like, come on, SJ.
Study history. You put all these
novel fucking
ideologies in front of established traditions. We have established traditions. You can read Edmund Burke. Of all these things we have internalized that are logical, that are in our traditions, in our practices. So why I think that new atheism has dispersed is because I think it has awakened the church to give an apologetic response, and
that's true.
They have internalized that response.
Would it kill these people to know that like larger groups have just dispersed into subgroups that are still atheist and still plot against them, like, you know, on a daily basis? Like we still hold the same common objective. We disagree on other issues, but we all agree that we're against religion, or at least organized religion. And like we're pounding them into the dust as far as anything that you can see demographically on the internet.
And understood or realized or come to the realization that the arguments that the new atheists were presenting, and by extension the old atheists, weren't very good at all, weren't very persuasive at all. So I think that's why there's been a real mellowing out of the new atheists.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say.
Maybe it was because people were silenced by force up until, you know, fairly recently. And even now, I mean, there will be, you know, religious communities which, you know, the police, the judges, they're all in cahoots, right? And they will persecute non-believers or people who believe differently than they do. And we know that still exists, and we're identifying that now, we're calling that out. Right? But it's been a process of removing your bullshit from the system, because somehow in the separation of church and state, the church got special exemptions in the US for their bad behavior, and they just get to keep doing it with impunity. And so they've influenced the political establishment. We're attempting to undo that in the non-religious community.
Go ahead, Craig.
I'll say two things. First of all, that mayor guy, he used the phrase globalize the Intifada, and he won't walk away from it, which is literally like, kill Jews. It's literally what it means. It's like it was an uprising where it was very similar to October 7th, and he won't doubt. He's like a Hamas supporter, which is insane. In New York is like the most Jewish city on the planet outside of Israel. But so what he just said is totally true. It's something I've been saying for a long time. The reason why it took root, I think, a huge reason why it got so popular was that they had a huge target audience was fundamentalist Christians. And they had these non-arguments that are geared towards, they win all these debates against like young earth creationists or people who were trying to say the Bible is inerrant. They have this whole series of arguments that are not about ontology. And literally, they don't have any argument. They literally will say like, you're the one making the positive claim. If asked to say like, give me some evidence that God does not exist, they won't, there's no argument for it. And they've been kind of trying to paper over that fact for years. But if they actually had a good argument, it's like the person who put him, who was the best of them was Christopher Hitchens. And he has terrible arguments. He's very good at rhetoric, and he's a good speaker, and he's really talented at being witty and engaging. But he doesn't have any real, arguments. There's no arguments. They're all what I call the sleight of hand school of counter apologetics, where they argue, they win a debate based on something that has nothing to do with whether God exists or not. Like, young earth creationism, is the earth 6,000 years old, something like that.
Yeah, or flat earth. I never even realized there were so many people who believed in a flat earth, but these guys are debating people like that. They go for the low-hanging fruit sometimes to make themselves.
Yeah, big time.
Well, they often have scripts. You can see this in the so-called street epistemologists, where you have this popular level atheistic apologetics, and they go after people that aren't trained in philosophy. But once you run into somebody like that's really trained in philosophy, you can see the vacuous of their arguments. So I think that played a real significant role. Also, there's also been this definition game, which Craig Reed hinted at. Try to avert the burden of proof. And I was wondering if any of y'all could talk about that. They would often redefine atheism as merely the lack of belief. And
Right.
I think, yeah.
Which is fair enough on a personal level. I mean, that may be, often that is the case. The person just doesn't believe in the God, whatever gods they were raised up in, or church or whatever. But there's no reason why anybody else should accept that, because that's your personal relationship. And I should only care about that if you've got good evidence for why why I shouldn't believe in God. And they don't. Even like, a really like well-known guy, like I used to point out, what's his name? Rationality Rules. He's a fairly big channel, right? He said he had his big like, why I'm an atheist. None of them had anything to do with not believing in God. They were all like, okay, the Bible has contradictions. That may be true, but God could still exist. The Bible has violent scriptures. Okay, maybe true. God could still exist. They're all arguments and side points of Christianity. There's no good evidence for the resurrection. That's debatable, but that's still, God could still exist. They're not arguments against. There's no reason for anybody else to go, yes, you're right. Atheism is true. God doesn't exist. They don't have any real arguments. Hiddenness only works if you've experienced it yourself. The hiddenness argument, right?
I think what actually really put the arrow into the bullseye on atheism and killing it is when we look at what happened with the people the men who think they're women.
Here we go. Just getting right into the hateful speech. I love it. We'll come back. We'll come back to this. I think a slight shift here. Okay, so previously I'd done an episode.
This is how my dad
called ETA. Everyone's the asshole. And I was covering this Jim Bob. I was attempting to cover this Jim Bob stream, rather, that he made members only content. So we'll come back to this now. And it's this guy, Dean. I guess he's a lawyer or a law student. I'm not sure which. Appears very young. But anyway, regardless, arguing against a person on his platform, threatens to have this person canceled. And I think there was actually repercussions from this, similar to like the Jubilee guy, where somebody saw him on there and he actually did. Oh, no. They were trying to have this guy's kids taken away from him. So anyway.
Transformed his
just bad
body.
behavior on the internet.
Changed his life. It may change yours too.
My name is Harris, and I've lost 25...
The debater guy. So there's this exchange he has. We'll take a look at here. And, he ends up, like, doxing the guy for taking a position.
He didn't dox him. The guy gave his own information, but what Dean is advocating for here is calling CPS or law enforcement on this individual based on a philosophical argument on the internet, which is or more of legal argument, I guess. I don't know. You can judge.
And this kind of stuff gets me enraged, honestly. It makes me want to. I won't say it. It's blue. That little kid.
Okay.
Sure. I have a question. I just want to see like the bounds of your cult mentality here. Would you vote for Donald Trump if he perved on naked teenage girls? Would you still support him?
Yeah, you're gonna pull up this clip. You tried to do that earlier when you started the stream earlier.
Yeah, I want to see what your take on this is as a member of a cult that also happens to be a father of what seems to be a little girl in your profile picture. Let's go ahead and roll the clip and let's see what your thoughts are.
As
conflict?
Yes.
I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
That's why that's because the speech that you didn't watch may be the best current evidence that this moves like reincarnated may be true.
That Nepal student speech that you didn't watch may be the best current evidence that the Hinduism belief in the reincarnation may be true. Excuse me? Did you send me a link, Alter Void? No, reincarnation isn't true, Alter Void. What's the name of the clip? I'll look at it.
Wait. You just said isn't true? Can you provide any? That's a ridiculous claim to make without any type of, backing. You can't just say reincarnation can't and isn't true and not say anything else. I mean, I guess he just says everything is satire, but...
Today's party day. Are you kidding me? I'll look into it.
Click a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump in my country, we say hello with the vagina. And
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that.
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else, and no men are anywhere and I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. You know, I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a doctor.
everything's good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
So this man has a daughter, but this man is also like just straight up a member of...
Excuse me. First of all, why is Dean clutching his pearls about this? Aren't they liberated women? I mean, this is like...
No. Wait. Shut the door.
Run-of-the-mill dudes.
That was appropriate. So, you can't hear me because, yeah, you should have an earbud. So they're like 12-year-old girls. Aren't they like full-grown women? Like when Trump was talking about the girls of the pageant. He's like, no, like, don't you have a daughter? No, they were little girls.
Clutching his pearls about this.
He says it's pearl clutching. Say, oh, young girls was having Trump stare at them in the dressing room. It's like, okay. It's ridiculous.
Aren't they liberated women?
Aren't they liberated
this is like
women?
Run-of-the-mill dudes being like, oh, I got to see naked women. It's like, you know, it's immature, yeah. It's not like this, like, you don't like clutch your pearls. This is like Howard Stern. It's like, yeah, should he do that? No. But like, that's not like, this is not like some sort of, you know, deal breaker.
God show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down. The only thing that I pray is that my
feet don't fail me now. Thank you, Bill Hicks. Appreciate you.
Attention, Team Kringle. Mount up! Streaming of a bright Christmas? You're gonna love Christmas.
Pray is that my feet don't fail me now. Thank you, Bill Hicks.
So, what is he talking about?
Wait a minute. So you're going to use him talking about how he has to inspect the people of a beauty pageant and saying that they're beautiful, good-looking women, when the whole point of judging a pageant, beauty pageant, is how good-looking the women are? What?
Well, I wouldn't say that.
On my channel now? What?
It's a great...
Did you block me?
...take from that clip, if you're going to, you know, be honest. It's like... I mean, it's kind of fun. It's like good rhetorically. Like, he has to inspect the goods or something, but... Okay. No, it's better to say he's a man, and he's shameless, and he wants to look at beautiful women naked or half naked.
All right. That's the whole purpose. So every judge of a beauty pageant is that same person, and
he's a DJ.
They're a creep, and they go after little girls.
So the beauty the pageant judges, they'll judge.
Oh, sorry, dude. I turned off my I apologize. They were saying the chat. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that. I had it so that I couldn't hear him, but you guys could. Fail. 25,000 subs. Still can't get his tech working.
He owns the pageant.
So the judges, they'll judge them when they're on stage. Right?
Oh
Donald Trump didn't look at them while they were on stage. I mean, as he said in the clip,
he said that they were beautiful, they look good, and you're gonna sit here and say he's going after little girls. But you got another guy who's dimensional.
He has
to mention, and he's
hey, go man. He went into their changing room, where only women and teenage girls were before the show, without their consent to look at them while they're naked.
Oh my God! He literally just said that I'm there to inspect the pageant. It would be no different than any other owner.
I don't.
Are we good? We're just checking to make sure we're good. I mean, there were no other women there. We're just checking to make sure we're good. I mean, there were no other women there. We're just checking to make sure we're good. I mean, there were no other women there. We're just checking to make sure we're good.
Well, who is he to say that? That's bigotry.
Hello.
Welcome, neighbor.
How are you?
I do be fine.
I want to say abortion is not child sacrifice.
I don't understand how you can say that because you're Sacrificing a preborn baby for the woman's right to choose.
I'm sacrificing the. Say that again. I'm sorry.
You're sacrificing the life of a preborn baby for the woman's right to choose. It's a ritual human sacrifice.
Sure. Why is this bad?
Because God said He hates it when you shed the blood of innocence.
Wait. The sacrifice entails that there's something being sacrificed to, so it's not a sacrifice if there is no sacrifice to in it. Well, okay, the sacrifice of a thing does not entail the sacrifice to another thing. I think that's fallacious. Go ahead.
Well, I don't care about God, so why is it bad from a secular point of view?
Well, and from a secular point of view, nothing is bad because.
Oh, then this is good. Then so I'm living it up. I don't care about.
Yep, secular morality does not exist.
God, so I'm not gonna have to like learn about God or anything like that. If I go to hell, I go to hell. I'm good then. If nothing is wrong with it in a secular point of view, I'm good. Wishing for everybody. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you. Have a good day, man.
You're on your way to hell. Let my people go. Are you like accidentally requesting up, Jimmy? Yes. Would you like? Did you leave? Getting on here. What would you like to say?
I don't know. That poor black man that you just talked to, I don't think was racist.
Are you kidding me? Do you not believe in the low expectations racism?
But he was saying that.
I think this caller is an agitator recruited by P. Mars himself.
The fact of being a slave is you're forced to be uneducated. That's part of being a slave.
No.
How do you get educated then if your slave master doesn't give you education materials?
They had Quaker missionaries would come and speak the gospel to slaves.
And so that makes them.
Quakers told the gospels to slaves? Wait, so what?
Not unintelligent because they weren't learning the Bible makes you intelligent? Is that the only thing that they learned?
We're talking about the Bible. He was saying the Bible supports slavery. And I said, well, that's crazy because the Bible believing slaves, the people who were, like that guy was never a slave. That guy's probably been privileged his whole life.
Well, the Bible obviously supports slavery. That's a non-argument.
So the actual slaves would totally...
No, he's a black man, so he's actually not privileged.
Probably super privileged black man. So then, super privileged. And compared to us...
It's just MAGA cult all the way right there. Because he's black, he must be privileged because of DEI.
Slave? And so the slave...
Absolutely, sure.
So,
but compared to the relative society, is what we should compare around.
Right, so he's being judged.
No affirmative action.
Mental. He thinks he knows better than like the black slaves who actually experienced that stuff. And they read the Bible and it inspired.
No, they didn't read the Bible. They read the slave Bible. They had a different Bible. You know that, right?
Do you know that supports my position? Because the slave Bible.
Can you say yes or no to that question?
Yeah, I know they had the slave Bible. Can we talk about? Let's talk about what the slave Bible is. What is the slave Bible?
It's the Bible with all mentions of freedom removed from it.
Exactly. So that proves my point. They were afraid that the Bible would inspire a slave revolt. And so they tried to oppress them by keeping them from being Christian. The slave owners would like try to keep Quaker missionaries from preaching the gospel to slaves. So the slaves knew better than this privileged modern person, the last guest. They knew better that the Bible actually was a book of freedom. It's not a book of slavery. So that's the whole point.
Right. But the book that the slaves were given was not a book of freedom, like you were saying. That was his point.
Yes, but they had they had missionaries come and teach them the true gospel.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point. That's why you have so many different denominations within Christianity, is because it's readily interpretable in so many different ways, right? So you can have different beliefs on the same text, still claim to believe the same thing, unified on X issue, maybe not Y issue, right? But you have some unified, like, fundamental ideology.
Oh yeah, so slave master just like go on and teach.
That song I was just playing, "Go Down Moses, Go to Egypt Land, Tell Pharaoh to Let My People Go"? That whole chapter, Exodus, was removed from the slave Bible. So how did they know that song?
I guess Quaker missionaries. Is that your
point? I guess you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Why don't you?
Word of mouth. I mean, which is how all the biblical texts were passed down in the first place. Was oral history.
Why are you getting so angry?
Because you're a pussy.
Why am I?
You're a pussy.
I can't even kick this guy out. God damn it.
Yeah, why am I?
Yeah, you're arguing the wrong thing. That doesn't make slaves educated. That just makes them aware of God. That doesn't teach them reading. That doesn't teach them math. That doesn't teach them science. That doesn't teach them anything
dude.
but God.
You don't know, dude. What it means is that a slave on a plantation somehow understood the Bible better than a modern person in 2025 with access to the internet. Don't you think that's fucking pathetic?
I don't think that that's the case, but that's just what you're thinking.
So
I don't really don't give a fuck about your opinion.
Yeah, they just didn't have access to the same amount of information that a person now has.
You have the racism of low expectations. So those slaves didn't
What?
know.
Because they were purposely made to be ignorant.
Oh yeah, so they weren't smart enough for you, right? You're smarter than
They
them.
were purpose. I'm not faulting them. I'm not faulting them in any
Say
capacity.
it. Go ahead and say it. Say it, racist.
They were not smarter. They were not as smart.
Are you
No,
smarter
they
than
weren't,
the
because they were
slaves?
forced to be ignorant.
They
Stop
were
ignoring
forced-
that
how
last
can you
part.
force
Stop
somebody to
stop gish gobbling and ignoring that last part, because you're not gonna get me.
Then how come they under?
Now he's calling the caller a racist. I think
Understood that the Bible-
that's just fucking epic, fucking right there. Give
Bible
it-
was a source of freedom.
Understanding a singular book does not make you smart. You fucking ignoramus.
Yeah. Well, if they
It doesn't
read the
do
book,
anything for you.
if they read the book and they get read the book and you think it's a book that promotes slavery, that means
Edited.
Means-
Extrapolated. Yeah. Redacted.
Does it not promote slavery? What the fuck is Leviticus? What the fuck is half of Leviticus, you dumbass? Chattel slavery being in.
Fuck these people. God, like how many racists are we gonna have this morning? Jeez.
You are the racist, asshole.
Crazy. You come up with like 5 different accounts too.
Yeah.
They have to have the last word, dude. It's like a weird like psychology thing or something. I don't know, man. Like they're just so weird like that. They're like, I gotta get the last word. I'm gonna come up on 5 different accounts.
There you go. All right. I'm letting it go. Be well, be kind, stay trusty, and we'll see you later.